respectful, Jeff. Very good.
So in my pocket, I have a $20 bill. I'm not doing that. Everybody get a Bible.
Over there.
Oh,
Sarah,
yeah.
get a Bible.
Yeah, the Bible.
I said not.
I don't have a Bible app either.
Can you give me a Bible? No.
Maybe. That comes later on, once I'm established. So I'm gonna start off with like a little bit of a history lesson. In the 1600s to around the 1700s, there was an era called the Enlightenment era. And that's when there was a lot of scientific and mathematical breakthroughs, like Rene Descartes and Anton Lavoisier, or you know the Cartesian plane in math, that type of thing where you graph all this stuff. Rene Descartes made that, and then Anton Lavoisier made the metric system, and then predicted silicon and other elements. He compiled that together. And then also during that period was the 30 Years' War, which was between the Pope and other Protestant places and countries, and that led to a lot of people criticizing Christianity and other religions during the Enlightenment era, trying to just gain more knowledge. And they called that the higher criticism, specifically when it was towards Christianity. And a lot of people didn't even believe that the Hittites existed, which is all throughout the Old Testament. So somebody flip to Genesis 15, 18 through 20. You want to read? Read Genesis 15, 18 through 20.
On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, I give this land to your offspring from the brook of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates River. The land of the Canaanites, Kenizzites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaim, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites.
It's Hittites in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's really what matters. That's the Abrahamic covenant. That's when Abraham was promising all the land of Canaan, which was the promised land. Also in Genesis chapter 23, you don't have to flip to this, but Sarah was actually also buried in the land of the Hittites, and the Hittite people all agreed to let Abraham bury Sarah wherever he wanted because he was such a well-known guy. And then eventually Moses took them to there. That's in Exodus 3, 7 through 8. Somebody read that again. Exodus 3, 7 through 8. You want to read?
Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves.
Is that Genesis? I said Exodus.
I got it.
Okay. Gio, you read.
Then the Lord said, I have observed the misery of my people Egypt.
Louder, Gio.
And have heard them crying out because of the oppressors. I know that the oppressors. How far do you
7 and 8.
And I have come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians, and to bring them out into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the territories of Canaan, Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites.
Once again, the Hittites are mentioned. And that specific passage was God telling Moses that he had heard how oppressed the Jews were under Pharaoh. And God, the Lord, was saying that he's going to take them all out of the land of Egypt and into the land of Canaan, the promised land, which also had the Hittites, that Abraham was promised. And once again, Abraham was an Israelite, and then Moses' people were also Israelites. The same promise is there. Jacob and Esau, you guys know that story, right? Yeah, Esau married a Hittite. And then Rebecca didn't like him. That's in Genesis 26:34. You don't have to read that. And then King David had Uriah the Hittite killed. You guys know who Uriah is? So, did I have a verse? I didn't, whatever. King David was looking around and he saw a woman and he wanted to marry her. And he killed the dude that she was married to. He sent him off into battle. But he was a really high-ranking soldier. And that shows that the Hittites were very well integrated, or sorry, two big words. The Hittites were a very large part of the Israeli society, the Israeli society, but that was long after Moses. That's after they had already established themselves. And then these Hittite people are very frequently mentioned in the Bible. So there was lots of professors and other people that didn't believe that they existed at all, like Professor F.W. Newman. He was a vegetarian, so obviously he's weird. He also used to be Christian, but then he went to Baghdad, and then he became a deist. He was a weird dude. Thomas Kelly Cheyenne, however you say that. Whenever you look up whoever didn't believe that the Hittites existed, his name always pops up. Heinrich Ewald also didn't believe, and then Sir Ernest Alfred Thompson Wallace Budge was an Egyptologist, and he didn't believe that they existed either. And then eventually the Hittites were found, and they were all proven wrong. A lot of them kind of backtracked on what they said. Charles Texier discovered the ruins, but then didn't know it was Hittites. And then the German archaeologist Hugo I don't know how to say that, Wickler, found the historical tablets and identified the capital. And then Archibald Henry Sayce said that Texier found the Hittites after kind of reading through what he found. And then Czech scholar Bedřich Hernzen, I cannot say that. Thomas, come here. Read this name for me. Right there. Give it a shot. Right there. Bedřich Hronzi, that's what we're going. Hrozny. H-R-O-Z-N-Y. He deciphered the language and then also really stuck to it actually being the Hittites. And then it was officially declared that Charles Texier found the Hittites in 1950. So now just to kind of make that all make sense, the only place that talked about the Hittites was the Old Testament. Nobody knew that beforehand. So that means that the Old Testament had to have been written before the Hittite collapse, which was in 1180 BC. Because after 1180 BC, it was all burned down, Hittite civilization, from sea people attacking and droughts and stuff. So the earliest possible time that Hittite civilization could have been written about would have been before that 1180 BC, because the next time somebody found it was in 1950. And then kind of going down more into other Old Testament prophecies that also prove the Bible. We're actually going to do a sword drill. So everybody close your Bibles. If you get it first, then I'll give you a cupcake.
Got it.
And you have to have an actual Bible. Phones don't count. All right, everybody close your Bibles. Yes, they have to be closed, completely closed. Yeah, everybody hold your Bibles up in the air. You have to be holding the spine. Have you guys not done this before? Oh my God. This is an official starting position. You guys have to hold the Bible like this. Okay? All right. 3, 2, 1. Isaiah 7:14. Start reading as soon as you get there. Isaiah 7:14.
Isaiah 7:14.
Louder, Michael. What? Your brother got there first. He wasn't reading loud enough though. Jesus. I can't hear you, Michael. Read it louder and again.
Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. See the virgin will have a name of a baby.
He said, not loud enough, that Jesus would be born from a virgin. And that was way in Isaiah, which was in the Old Testament, long before Jesus was born. Now, everybody get ready again. Another one. All right, 3, 2, 1. You guys are all cheaters. Micah 5:2.
What?
Micah 5:2. Micah 5:2. I said Micah 5:2. Well, Tomboy said it. Ella, did you get it? Oh, another sibling feud. All right, Ella, read
I got it first.
it. Ella, did you get it first? Okay, she was actually thinking. Who got it first? Fine then. Caitlin, read it out loud. What? Oh, I'm sorry then. Ella, you read it. Somebody read Micah 5:2.
Write it in, guys.
His origin is from antiquity, from ancient times.
He just said that a great ruler would come from Bethlehem. That's what matters. Which talks about Jesus. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Also born of a virgin.
And clan of Judah.
And the clan of Judah. Tribe of Judah. Not the clan. Close enough. I'm gonna say Ella guys. Alright, everybody get ready again. Alright.
Stand up when you find it.
Stand up when you find it too. 3, 2, 1. Psalm 41:9. Psalm 41:9. Psalm 41:9. Loud and proud, Landon. Landon, you stood up first. Everybody stop. Landon stood up first.
Proves false does a person not collapse at the very sight of it?
Oh yeah, like
Read it. What? Was that the correct one?
41:9. It's 41:9, right?
Psalm. Ava, did you get it? Because you were the second person to stand up. It was Psalm 41:9. Wait, did you actually get Psalm 41:9? You promise? Okay. Landon, what did you flip to?
Don't say Isaiah 40. He was like on 49.
Yeah, Psalm 41:9. Well, okay, read it. Read it again.
9, right there. Oh my.
Well, she was the second person to stand up, though. Landon got it, but he was in the wrong place. And then Ava. No, she had it. Yes, you do. She just said that she was talking about Judas.
Come on, guys.
Hey, Rylan, tell everybody to be quiet.
You guys listen.
hey, high shot.
Thank you. That, what is it? Psalm 41:9 was about Judas. It said that somebody would betray me, somebody that broke bread with me. All right, last one. Isaiah 11:1 through 10.
11 through 10.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, 1 through 10. Isaiah 11:1 through 10. Isaiah 11:1 through 10. I think it's just a G. I'm sure that you did it first. Stop talking! Rylan's the one that stood up first. Really, Gio? You lost and you were cheating. Read it loud, Rylan. I think this one was too long.
Then a shoot will grow from the stump of Jesse, and And a branch from his roots will bear fruit. The spirit of the Lord will rest on him. The spirit of wisdom and understanding. The spirit of counsel and strength. The spirit of knowledge and fear. Of the Lord is delight to be in the fear of the Lord. He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes. He will not execute justice by what he hears with his ears. But he will judge the poor righteously and execute justice for the oppressed of the land. He will strike the land with a scepter from his mouth, and he will kill the wicked with a command from his lips. Righteousness will be a belt around his hips. Faithfulness will be a belt around his waist. The wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the goat. The calf, the young lion, the fattened calf will be together, and a child will lead them. The cow and their bear will graze, their young ones will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like cattle.
Yeah. This one's too long. I'll say that you're on a okay.
You don't have this one. The toddler will put him into a snake's den. Stop that thing. They will not harm or destroy each other. On my entire holy mountain, for the land will be as full of the knowledge of the Lord as the sea is filled with water. On the day, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the people. The nations will look to him for guidance, and his resting place will be glorious.
Yeah, I think I read that one all in my head. It took me like 3 seconds, so I didn't know how long it was. All right, somebody tell me what that one was about. What was the prophecy there? Yes, it was about Jesus, but what did it prophesy about Jesus?
It prophesied about
What?
It prophesied him about being on the cross.
No! What, Kevin?
Tracing of Jesus to
Yes, it was through Jesse. It said that Jesus would come through Jesse.
Jesse was different.
So now, you'll get one afterwards. So, all that said, the Hittites prove that the Old Testament was written before Jesus, and then all these prophecies talk about Jesus, right, but that are before him. So they are truly prophecies. Another thing that proves how old the Bible is the Dead Sea Scrolls. Raise your hand if you know what the Dead Sea Scrolls are. Okay, Kevin, tell everybody what the Dead Sea Scrolls
So
are.
basically, they found a bunch of scrolls in a cave, and they found the scrolls of the Bible, and they found different like interpretations. And what language was it in?
I don't remember. Wait, it was Old Testament, so it would have been Hebrew. Mom, what was it?
It had to be Hebrew.
It was Hebrew and Aramaic and Arabic. There was several different languages on these scrolls,
Okay.
but yes, Hebrew.
The
dead language of
Exactly,
Hebrew.
it proved once again that the Old Testament was as old as it says it is, which then proves that all the prophecies were written before Jesus, which would make them prophecies. And that Jesus is real, once again.
How do you know
That he wasn't what? And it could have been true. But the thing is, there's thousands of different prophecies. Also, kind of backtracking, I forgot this part. Isaiah 11, 1 through 10 was about Jesus coming through Jesse. And there's plenty of times in the Bible where it talks about their genealogy. And Jesse was the father of King David. I'm fairly certain you're wrong. I think I could be wrong. I don't think that's true. I don't. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Jesus, yeah. See, now I'm kind of connecting some dots. Whatever. You could be right. I could be wrong. But the thing is that Jesus had to come directly from Jesse, and Jesse and Mary are directly related. Jesse is the 26th great grandfather of Mary, or the 27th great grandfather of Jesus, 26th of Mary. And then if you want to find that, it's in Matthew 1. You can count and see if I got my number right. Now, kind of going towards the rest of the books and just proving the Bible more. In all of the New Testament books, it correctly puts the names, right? So, how many Emilys do you guys know in Arcadia? Emilys. 5, 7, 6, 7. That wasn't funny. So, if I were to write, what's another common dude name? Thomas? Exactly. So if I were to write a historical book about Arcadia, right, and I were to say that there wasn't any Emilys in all of Arcadia, you would think that I was wrong. And I'm obviously wrong. Exactly. So inversely, the other way around, if I were to write a book about Arcadia and say that Emily showed up a lot, or there was multiple different Emilys and 1 or 2 different Thomases or whatever, it would sound correct, especially if this was 1,000 years in the future. You just found a book lying around about the ins and outs of Arcadia. And that's similar to what happens in the New Testament. Like Judas, you know, how there's Judas Iscariot and there's the other Judas.
The new Judas, when he got back, when the 12th member of the apostle.
Yeah, there was the Judas Iscariot, and then there was Judas the Apostle. Are those 2 different people? Right? And then there was Mary, mother of Jesus, and then there was Mary Magdalene, right? Those are common names. But then if you also look back into the archaeological discoveries, you can find that both Mary and Judas were very common names of that time. And other names that only show up once were very uncommon names for that time. They also got all of the geographical content and like the distances between places, like how far it takes to travel and such things. And also like the amount of people in cities and what could actually happen. And also they got the correct political titles as well. So instead of saying that like it was President Kamala Harris during the Biden presidency or Vice President Donald Trump, that type of thing, they got the correct names. It is President Trump and so on. Things that you really only can get correct 100% of the time if you like really know what you're talking about. And that's long before like a modern fake could be made. So there was like the time of when it was happening, right? And then the time now once we've discovered it all. But in this middle period, there was like the medieval ages when there was a lot of like just Christian people doing whatever they wanted, like the Pope. So they would make a bunch of fakes and things like that. And that's where a lot of the fake books like the Book of Thomas or the Book of Mary Magdalene come from. They're weird French people doing things. So in this middle era of the medieval period, they didn't know that Mary was a common name, or that Judas was a common name, or how far everything was from each other. It'd be like me saying that I walked to Colorado in a day. You know what I mean? You can't do that. And that's happened before in other books. They just didn't know what they were talking about because Europe is so far from the Middle East. So that kind of proves that the New Testament is true after proving that the Old Testament is true. And then there's plenty of books that aren't in the Bible. So you guys know how the Catholic Bible has 73 books, which is 7 more books than our Bible. The Catholic book, or the Catholic Bible, was all compiled during the Council of Trent. But the Protestant Bible, the one we have, was made by Martin Luther and other people, kind of slowly praying and thinking about it. And a lot of the books were not included because they heavily referenced a debate that was happening at the time, which is more to the point of just medieval people just doing whatever they wanted, you know? So imagine like I were to pretend that I found a secret fragment of the Constitution that said that we actually were allowed to have machine guns or automatic rifles, you know what I mean? That type of thing. You wouldn't really think that that's real because it references something that like wouldn't really be in his head. Well, no, not they're not legal. That's the thing. And that's why. So if I wanted to make them legal, I would lie and say that. And that happened all the time, like with people just making up random things and saying that. Well, one thing somebody said was that Judas knew and understood all the prophecies, that Jesus actually had to be betrayed and died on the cross, and that's why, which doesn't make any sense if you really think about it. So that's why that one was thrown out, but it referenced debates in the time. And then I think I kind of just went everywhere here. There's one book that's not included that I do like, that like shouldn't really be heavily put in. It's called Enoch. and it has Nephilim and Enoch is the great grandfather of Noah. You guys know? Yeah. Is that true? I think it's true.
I didn't hear what he asked.
He said that's one of the people that walked into heaven that didn't die.
He
Enoch?
he walked with God and was not. For
Yeah, he
God
walked with God
had
and was
taken
not.
him.
And
Yeah.
then Elijah.
It was Elijah.
I don't know.
A fiery church.
Fiery chariot, yeah.
That,
They
yeah.
have never died yet.
And also, it was a very apocalyptic. I can't say the word. I got you too. How do you say it? Yeah, whatever. I don't care because it was before Noah. It was prophesying about the flood, but it's so thousands of years long ago, and it's just a bunch of like oral traditions, like people talking to their kids, and their kids talking to their kids, and then their kids talking to their kids, so on. So whatever it started off with was probably not true, like the telephone game. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a bunch of stories, a bunch of small little ones. It's the telephone game. It's just word of mouth. They didn't write it down, so it was a very long time before it was finally written down. And like I said, it was talking about the flood. It was prophesying because the flood. Because they didn't have language yet. They literally hadn't invented how to write stuff down. And then they only knew how to talk. So kind of going down even more, just more proof. Do you guys know what the Shroud of Turin is? You guys don't know what the Shroud of Turin is? Mom, can you look up what the Shroud of Turin is?
I'm not going to look up the Shroud of Turin. It is
just a picture of it.
Allegedly,
Mom.
the burial cloth of Jesus Christ.
I can explain that. I just need to show them a picture.
We can do it next week.
Okay, we'll do it.
We have controversial. We have 5 minutes.
It had a picture of Jesus. Yeah. Exactly. A whole bunch of radiation. And the thing is, it couldn't be faked because it was only on like the very top layer of the cloth. So if they would have used like a marker or any sort of paint, it would have bled through to the bottom, right? But it was only on the very small amount. And also, what other stuff was here? It also contains like depth information, which like the only other possible way they could have faked that was by like wrapping it around a face and then heating it up and doing other weird things. But that wouldn't have given the depth of it. That would have just been like a 2D representation. And then also there was bloodstains that were on it before the like actual picture was there, which would have truly meant that Jesus was wrapped in the cloth and bled, and then he ascended, which like produced all the radiation and light. And then also there's other ones that are weird, like the weeping statue of Our Lady Syracuse. My dad was talking to me about that. It's the only reason I included it. And it's a statue that cries, but it doesn't have like any water coming from it. It doesn't have like, you know what I'm talking about? Exactly. That was only for the small, smart people that knew about that.
I'm tall.
And then the small group of people that would know about that. Also, just to make some people mad at me, there's a bunch of wrong arguments that people make about why you should believe in Jesus that I don't really like. A lot of people say that you can't have morals without being religious, and that's not really true. Yeah, because you can, there's secular morals, but there's plenty of, like, you can't really have that much of an objective reality. You can kind of base it in other people's truths, but then all of it gets subjective. You know what I mean? So there is no real... It's all based off many things. The best secular thing. So you have to word it right, or else you kind of get in the weeds. And then also, a lot of people say that a God of infinite good can do things that we wouldn't understand, that could look bad, even though he is infinitely good. But that's not really true. I mean, this is going to sound weird, but a God of infinite evil could do things that we accidentally find is good, even though he's being infinitely evil. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, that type of thing. Also, a lot of people say that you should just have faith, and that's the reason you believe in Jesus. But I don't believe in that too much at all. Like, faith makes it sound like you don't have a reason to believe in Jesus, and you just need to accept that it doesn't make sense. But believing in Jesus is the thing that makes the most amount of sense. You know what I mean? Like, I've went through all the different other reasons, like the Shroud of Turin, the Hittites, which proved the Old Testament, and so on and so forth. I don't want to talk anymore, so that's it. Just say no. You don't have to pray. Do you want to pray? Okay. I don't want you to pray. Who wants to pray? Macy's gonna pray. All right, somebody choose then.
I got you.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Everybody, close your eyes and close your mouth too.
Dear Lord, thank you for today, and I pray that we all take your message in and give us a good day, Lord, good rest of our day, Lord, and give us a safe drive home, Lord, and peace and I pray, amen.